Hi, do you know anyone who's been on a bicycle tour around Cyprus? Yeah, me neither. It seems that no one really associates this island with bike touring, which I totally understand, but I'm very glad that I decided to come here with my bicycle. So before I fly back home, I'd like to share my 10 highlights from that trip with you. Let's go! Traveling in Cyprus, you'll come across a great variety of landscapes. From sandy beaches to dramatic coastlines, pine forests, mountains. Yeah! Mountains! Deserted peninsulas, reservoirs, typical country roads, a lot of them. Caves, and even waterfalls. For such a small island, Cyprus has quite a lot to offer. You can come here in autumn, late winter or early spring and still be dressed like this. Yeah, flip-flops turned out to be great footwear for that trip. Mild temperatures make it much more enjoyable to sleep outside. Speaking of which, wild camping in Cyprus works pretty well. Officially, it's not allowed, but in reality, you can always find a good, safe spot to put your tent, and no one seems to care. You can even skip setting up the tent and get a little creative when it comes to sleeping outdoors. On Cyprus, it's easy to find big picnic areas with plenty of tables, benches, and spots for grilling. Most of them are covered, so you can pitch your tent if you want, but you don't have to. Besides having a nice place to sit and eat, you can also enjoy some extra comforts like running water and even a toilet. You can also crash in one of those beach bars that are completely deserted after the season. Or in one of the numerous ruins across the island. Another interesting idea to spend the night could be a construction site or an unfinished building. There are plenty of them around the island. You are well protected from the wind and you save a lot of time since you don't have to set up the tent. Since those buildings are often not far from the sea or even directly by the sea, the view could be very nice. A lot of people will tell you that Cyprus is not a bicycle-friendly country because there are no bike lines and there's a lot of traffic. Both are true, but from my experience, you can very often find those nice, calm secondary roads with almost no cars and just enjoy. Oh, I especially liked my evening rides with the sun slowly setting. By the way, watching sunsets is something that I'm very looking forward to during my bicycle trips. and I can say that Cyprus didn't disappoint me. Cyprus is divided into two parts, the Greek-speaking south and the Turkish-speaking north. Although for many it is a controversial, even painful topic, for you as a traveler it could be really fascinating, because during the journey across the island you get to experience both of these cultures.
Nereden? Oradan yukarıdan makine vuracak.
In terms of size, Cyprus is a fairly small island. You can easily cycle around it in 2 weeks, maybe even in 1 week, if you hurry. But the question is, why hurry? There are so many beautiful places, beaches, picnic spots, cafes, restaurants that invite you to take a little break. So why not let yourself be a bit lazy and just enjoy your holidays? Cyprus is a perfect place for that. Cyprus is a Mediterranean country because it lies on the Mediterranean Sea, and for me that alone was reason enough to come here. I just love this mix of turquoise waters, pine trees lit by the rays of sunlight, colorful flowers everywhere, charming little towns, warm evenings, the sound of waves, the chirping of cicadas, the rustle of the wind in the trees, and that beautiful, unmistakable scent of dry pine needles, wild herbs, and salty air. The very first moment I left the airport in Larnaca, I knew straight away that I'd found myself once again in a Mediterranean country, and I felt happy. And last but not least, the people of Cyprus. Of course, I found them kind, helpful, chatty, and also very trusting. Stelios, for example, invited me for a lunch after 5 minutes of conversation, I think. So this is something I really appreciate. Oh, I will. Bye.
Bye bye.
Of course, cycling around Cyprus also has its downsides. Quite a few, actually. But let's leave it for another time and finish on a positive note today. And now it's actually time for me to head to the airport. See you next time.